So guys, forgive my work face and my tired face. So essentially, I have this dress that I want to make for my client. So I thought it wise to kind of video the process. So the client wants a gown, and essentially, when you start this business, you will know that if you don't take time, people will not pay you for your worth. So you need to insist on some things for it to make it work. So for this, because this is my workspace. This is my workspace. So for this, I'll be showing you the materials that I'll be using to do that in a bit, so that you will know, have a feel of what we're doing. So like I said, forgive my workplace is a bit scattered right now. You can see I'm ironing. So this is called paper stay. I usually use this to steady my fabric. I also use hair stay. You can see this one that we're already making. This is hair stay. So it's also used to steady fabric. So this is the lace that we're making currently for another client. And then we'll use hair stay. You can also use hair stay to steady, to form your cup. We've not padded this yet. You can see that we've not padded it, but we're going to be using it to do that, you know. Okay, so these are the fabrics that I'm working with for this project. So this is the Ankara, and this is the lace that we're working with. This is called Chantilly lace. This is black. So we'll be using it, and this is the Ankara. Of course, we'll be using zipper. We'll also be using our paper stay for this. This is actually, if you open it, you can easily tear. It's literally paper. See it? So, but I usually use this to kind of steady my fabric. So I decided to shoot this behind the scene so that you guys can actually see how we get things done. And let me just turn this quickly so that you can see the machine that I use. I'll turn it and then show you guys. So guys, this is my workspace. I usually make all, you can see my cup for tea. So I usually make all my fabric or my pieces here, and I use this to video my classes and also my clients. So I use this manual weaving machine. We also have the industrial one. But this is what I use to kind of seal the edges. So this is where I'll be making this, and of course there will be a video on this separately so that you can see how we get things done. This is also my mannequin, and we'll be using that for it. So guys, just work with me on this and let's see what we can achieve. So this is my space, guys. Yeah, we have a lot of work going on. That's why it's a bit untidy. It's not usually like this, but what can we do? So over to the drafting and cutting table. So guys, I have this client that wants to make a style. So what I do before I make any style is that I critically analyze. I look at the style. The first thing I look at the darts. How did the dart fall? You know, this is very essential. People don't know this, but there are some styles that with some dart lines, you cannot really get them as well as you should. So I look at dart legs. You know, did it go through the bust? Is it over the bust? You know, is it just a basic body's dart? What is it? What sort of dart did they use? And if you can get that in itself, you've made progress in analyzing a style. So because this is a vlog, I'm going to be giving you tips. Yes, that's what we do on this channel. I give you tips on how to make your business better. Okay, so this right here is the style that she wants. Let me see if I can zoom in a bit. So this is the style that she wants. I hope my ring light is not making it impossible. Okay, I think I got it. Okay. So she doesn't want this part of it, but she wants this, and then she wants another hand. She wants like a flare here. So looking at this, there are things that we can notice. First of all, I noticed that the dart went here, or the upper bust, and then there's a yoke here, there's a V here, and definitely it's padded, right? I'm going to also be sharing this thing on the screen so that you look at it better. So I already bought, I already bought the lace for this, the Chantilly lace for this. I'll be using this for that, so I won't be lining it. And then I'll be using the Ankara part for this part. So when you look at it, you figure out what you're going to do. So this is what I do before I go to the drafting table. You look at the style of the skirt. You can see it's pencil all the way down, and there's a half cut there. It's not a gown that doesn't have any half cut, so there will be a shoulder to waist measurement. There will also be a waist to length measurement, or you can use the full length to know what the lower part will be. So this is for the body. Then, like I said, she chose a different thing for the hand, and this is what we have for her hand. So this is how she wants it, although she wants this to come down a bit, and she then wants the flare to cover her hand totally. She doesn't want her hand to show at all. So if you have somebody that needs to make something, what you need to do is you need to figure out how the person wants it. So for her, I already did this measurement. I measured exactly where she wanted it to be. Of course, she wanted it to start here, and then the flare to cover her hand. So essentially, when a client brings anything to you, what I do is that when a walking client comes, I just measure you for everything, right? Because it's hard for some people to keep coming to you to measure me for this style. I don't do that. So what I do is I measure for everything, right? So if you come, I measure you for pants. All you now have to do is to send in your materials. I can also, I'm in Lagos, so I can also always send a dispatch rider to the person's location to send in what she wants to be made, right? So she doesn't have to come down, and the only time she's going to come down is when she's coming in for fitting. So, but in special cases like this, where maybe the client comes to you, what you will do is, for that particular style, like she already requested she wants it to cover her hand, so you have to do that measurement, right? So I think for me to do a bustier, I think the two very important, three, I would say three. The three very important measurements that I must get are: one, the bust measurement. So while I'm measuring the bust, first of all, I would like for my client to wear her best bra. And I ask you, is this your sports bra? Is this the bra you're going to be wearing? Is it padded? It will guide me in knowing how to measure my client. So if I am measuring my client, I want to make sure it's not too tight. I usually use 2 fingers and I place them like this, and I usually want to make sure the tape is on the back. You know, some people, when they're measuring, their tape will be like this and they're still measuring your bust. It's not right. So I like to make sure it's sitting pretty, and then I'll make sure I get your bust measurement. If I see that the bra is not so firm, just like the one I'm wearing, I'll ask you to pull it up, and then when you pull it up, I can get better measurements out of you. And then that's the number 1 measurement. The next measurement I like to always get is my under bust measurement, even though I can still calculate this if I don't get it, but I do prefer to get my under bust. Remember, 2 fingers in, so it will be something like this, and I'll make sure it's firm. So making sure it goes all the way around, I'm going to make sure it's firm, and I have my under bust measurement. You want to also make sure that you don't do it in such a way that it chokes too much and it doesn't move. No, it means the person will not breathe. So whatever measurement you're doing, you want to make sure you're still able to move your tape around like so. And then the third most important measurement that I would like to talk about is my hip measurement. Okay, let me go back a bit, and this is what it looks like. So remember, 2 fingers here, and then you want to make sure it's firm but it can move, right? And it moves from here to there. So these are the 3 very, very important measurements that I always like to get for fitting. And then for the vertical measurements, of course, you want to know where the bust point is, because if you don't get where the bust point is, the bust point can be up. I mean, there are people that you can see and their bust points, you know, for people that don't measure, they can make that mistake and it will be here. Meanwhile, the cup is here. I don't know if you've met people like that before. Personally, I have. So I want to make sure I get this. I want to make sure I get where the under bust is. I want to make sure I get the length of what I am working with. Essentially, that's that. So having said this, I'm just going straight to the cutting table, and I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to start with the patterns. Of course, if you've been following me for so long, you know that I work with patterns and I prefer them because I can easily manipulate. I can easily just keep it and use it again, especially when it comes to basic bodies. I can always use it for something else, essentially. So I'm going straight to the cutting table, and I hope to see you in my next video where I show you how to make that style. I love you for watching. Thank you, and please subscribe and tell your friends to subscribe as well. Bye.